What's up? Art for Inspiration, Jim Lee Millennium Edition. It's a hardcover from Wizard magazine. Yeah, way back in the 2000s. We're still in the 2000s. Yeah, I don't know. We'll look at the date in the inside here. Anyways, a Wizard special publication. They did several of these. The only ones I managed to ever pick up was the Jim Lee one here, which is really cool, and I'll show you why on the inside. Mark Silvestri and Michael Turner one. I'm not entirely sure if they did other artists like Gary Frank or, I don't know, Art Adams. I don't think they did. I think they only did a few. All right, so let's see here. So pretty much it's just looking over the career of Jim Lee, start to the current point, wherever this magazine was at, with their cover. So 2004, right? So what was that? Hush, I guess. Hush 1. We're going to skim over this. Get to see some of his Alpha Flight stuff. Obviously, the super iconic, traced by many pros and amateurs pose of Cap right there. A lot of people's insight to what they think of Jim Lee's artwork. Busy. All right. A lot of phone calls. It's a pretty awesome Akira cover back there. Poster. All right, so good to see a little bit. Jim Lee Superman. I got an Art for Inspiration on all this stuff, so we're just glazing this over. I also have Art for Inspiration on Jim Lee's Batman and All-Star Batman, Hush, and various other DC projects, because Jim Lee keeps taking my money. Right. Yeah, I get to see a little bit here where, there was a hot minute where Jim was doing like a bunch of watercolor type stuff. I think he was doing it for like commissions, and then started using it in actual like panel pages and stuff. So God, everybody is just so small compared to Mark. Look at Mark. He's like a Nephilim. All right, so Wizard fashion, they always do this. They show you all the founders because they do touch base on Image, and then of course going to touch base on his sell to Warner of Wildstorm products. Oh wow, that looks crazy. Eric Larson with hair. He's got like a itty bitty like patch. That's crazy looking. There's Wills. All right, so talks a lot about his different products, a lot of creations, a lot of his books. Scott Williams, if you know, you know. That's the real MVP, right? Wills, Alex Sinclair. Look at a young rich friend. Look at that. That looks like Rich when I first met him. All right, so you got some stuff on Bermejo, Garza, Campbell. Okay, unfinished business. This is why I was doing this video right here. For anyone interested in this here, this is the sickest reason to even get this book, which you could probably get it for like $4. Like, not kidding. These things were overprinted. I think a lot of people weren't getting it because they thought it was just a celebratory collection of Jim Lee stuff they already owned. Not true. You don't own this. Unfinished work, right? Unfinished, unused cover. It shows you the X-Men cover they went with of Jim's. This was his original pencils. You also get to see a Wolverine cover here. He started out and what they ended up with. right? Then you get majority of, but not all, because I've seen other pages from this that are not in here, or at least pieces that aren't published right here. Punisher, Nick Fury, Rules of the Game. This was supposed to be a deluxe one-off, one-shot. I think Carl Potts was the writer of it. Jim Lee was doing the art. Didn't get finished. So you get to see all the line art here. There's a page from it. Here's a page from it. This is like Jim Lee Punisher War Journal era, okay? So I think this is Jim inking himself too. I do not think this is Scott Williams inking this. Yeah, I don't think it is. But yeah, it's a pretty cool glimpse at a book that never happened. Yeah, and I mean, there's quite a few of these pages in here too. So it's kind of wild with the star skirt and stuff. She almost resembles Wonder Woman. A little ironic that he would, years later end up at DC as high as he is. Yeah, these panels are fun. This stuff right here, this is very Dark Knight Returns. Like if you eliminate a few of these, this is very Dark Knight Returns right here, right? So with the, I feel like if it kind of did this thing, probably the inspiration for Jim. Yeah, and these are super sick too. Yeah, this is just an all-around awesome page. I love this entire page right here. So cool. Sorry, let me get that glare off of here. But anyways, yeah, so like I said, you get to see a lot of this. Look at this. Come on, guy. Come on. Dude. This never came out. This is insane. I wonder if Marvel has the right to, or the rights to actually color this up and then like have it finished, right? Like, I don't know. It's weird. But I mean, I would definitely buy it just because I'm a sucker. So get some more pages here. Really, really cool storytelling. Man, tell me that ain't Jim Gordon. Yeah, he was already developing his template faces for characters he would draw years later. Like come on, that's Jim Gordon. Yeah, so anyways, that's it for that. So here, let's do a page count. I'm just kind of curious. There are other pages here. He has a few like very Mike Mignola inspired pinup pieces, and a few with like Nick Fury using some sort of like a paraglider thing coming down the side of a building, I think. Those are not even in here, which is crazy. You can find those on Google. If you do a search, Jim Lee Unused Punisher, you can find them very easily, right? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's about what you get in a Marvel comic these days, minus ads, right? So you got about 13 pages there of unused story. Pretty dope. All right, private gallery commissions. So yeah, you get to see a lot of different commission pieces here. I'll shut my trap. I lied. I'm going to talk. This piece here inspired me to do a few pieces completely riffing off of this piece. Like, yeah, I just really love the way this is like Jim Lee looking at a lot of Bill Sienkiewicz. but it doesn't lose the Jim Lee cool factor. Does not lose it. Still has all the technical bits. Yeah, this stuff's really interesting. Check this out. Damn. So this was a birthday card that he drew and was signed by all of the old school Homage Studio guys. Scott, um, Jim, Scott, Wills. I don't recognize that autograph. So yeah, whoever was there, probably Carl. That might have been Carl Altstater. Who you all don't know is co-creator of Bishop. All right, let's keep going here. Yeah, these are definitely interesting. Yeah, Jim was doing a bunch of this stuff. These high res of this stuff was making the rounds way back in the day. That's crazy. Powerpuff Girls. This is a really, really nice complete piece. Like, this should have been a cover. This was after he had already left Marvel. I feel like someone at Marvel just dropped the ball. They should have really reached out to him and said, hey, do you like Benjamins? We got many, many Benjamins for you, Jim, if you let us use that piece. Yeah, this was the cover to the trade paperback and the hardcover collection of Deathblow. That's what that was used for. Yeah, most of this I think is actually unpublished as far as like officially used for things. This was the very first Jim Lee sketchbook. I think this was the cover to it. This grifter piece here, rapid line shading, just very, very fast pencil. I don't think there's any inks involved in here. This was also the cover. No, this was the dust jacket cover to the hardcover of Deathblow. If you take the dust jacket off, it then shows you the watercolor of the other one. This guy. That's the hardcover, yeah. And then that's the dust jacket. It's an interesting sketch. This feels like a Deanda to me. Man, I don't know what's in the air. It's terrible. Southern Arizona, clean your act up. Sketchbook from childhood to today. It's a flurry of sketches. Very obviously, Jim was John Byrne's biggest fan. There's a lot of John. Dang. Craziness. Craziness. Thank God they did not use this as ugly as sin. The Psylocke design right here, terrible choice. Terrible. Good job not choosing that. Yeah, X-Men vs. Avengers when Jim was probably, I don't even know, I'm not going to guess. 1980. Here's a drawing of his from 77. Here's a drawing from 86. I heard a rumor that Jim used to do a lot of conventions in Artist Alley and would sell like $5 commissions, double paid spreads for like $50. Way, way back. Look at these Gambit designs right here. Look at these Gambit designs. This one looks like, I wonder if Joe Quesada saw, this looks like Ash. I wonder if Quesada ripped this off for Ash. Interesting. Because this is 1989. This is like, you know, what, 3-4 years before Quesada had his first gig. Wolverine Hulks. This is, I don't know, why did they make this so big? It's ugly. This one's okay. 1989 sketch, so he was already working on Uncanny, I guess, at the time. Another 89 Wolvie. Here's his original cover design unused for X-Men 1. Look at that. If it was a wraparound, but they went quadfold. This right here is him after McFarlane. Little sketch. Yeah. Man, he should still have done this. This would have become another iconic cover. Like there's certain A-listers who could get away with an homage, and they make it just as popular as the original, in my opinion. That's a nice cap piece. This is during 02, so like Heroes Reborn. 86 Thor, 86. It says She-Hulk. Okay, I guess it is. Yeah, she was part of Fantastic Four. Nick Fury and Shield. This doesn't even look like his art. That is crazy. Yeah, that's. It's like he's looking at like Kevin McGuire or something. This is kind of fun. I like the Super Deformed Hulk, 1989. Some head studies, probably for the animated series. Warblade, Void, and Grifter. And then you got early Stormwatch designs. These are, man, this looks just as cool as the official team. First Pro Batman, 1993. Jeez, that was insane. If you showed me this and I had to guess, I would have actually guessed that it was early, like Travis Trey. It doesn't even look like Jim's work. Yeah, we get some more modern. I mean, 03 is modern. Jim's actually gotten a lot better. I feel like he started hitting stride again around 2015. Started to get like really just leveling up like crazy, which is insane because he was already like so high. Like as far as in my mind's eye, he's always been like cream of the crop, you know. But yeah, there's something about kind of changed up his approach after the DC-52 stuff, and I feel like it's like when he has more time to play, that's when he starts making more strides. Yeah, a bunch of different Legion of Superhero designs here. Did a bunch of covers for that stuff, I thought. All right, you get a checklist here of like all the books that he's featured on or worked on. There's comic pros that aren't even this. You know what I'm saying? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Backup stories, cover pencils, package design, full-length issues, pinups, posters. Oh, yeah, the source book. If you guys have this Bone source book, it has some pretty cool pinups in it, by the way. I will not do a art for inspiration of that because my copy is a 9.8 candidate and I might sell it. All right, so you got trading cards, you got some gallery stuff here. Yeah, early Jim Lee Alpha Flight, acceptable. This feels more like a Jim Lee piece than anything else here, in my opinion. These all feel like John Byrne. It all feels like he was just trying to pay homage to who came before him. This feels like it. This feels like a Jim Lee piece, though. Yeah, he only had like 2 or 3 Alpha Flight covers that felt like Jim. This one did big time. This one felt like Jim Lee really looking at a lot of Art Adams to me. That was an awesome cover. And then there's one more. This one. Yeah, this one here, big time Jim Lee, of what he would become. You could see it all right here. Yeah, he did some Transformers covers. He did really off-the-wall Punisher stuff, too. You know what's funny about this? This right here reminds me of 1983 Mark Silvestri. Mark had done a Namor, I think it was a What If. My cat wants wet food, so I'm going to wrap this up soon. All right, it's Alpha Flight. It's pretty cool. card in there. Let's see. We got Silver Surfer pinup. Got the War Journal covers here. You know what's interesting about this too? When I was working at Extreme Studios, Danny Mickey actually had some Jim Lee that he had inked himself. And I was like, oh, what's that? And he's like, oh, I actually worked on this thing. So apparently Jim Lee was supposed to do a Silver Surfer short story or several in like Marvel Comics Presents, I guess. And they all got scrapped. I'd be really interested to see all those pages. But Danny had a really, really cool cover piece. And I think they repurposed it for a cover to like a different Marvel Age book or something. Yeah, these War Journal thing, man, these were, my buddies and I were just going ape. Anytime we'd see a new issue of this stuff, we were just like, hell yeah, we'd grab each other copies. Yeah, when this Spidey, man, he didn't do the interiors. This cover was worth it though. A few of these War Journals, he did not do the interiors to. The Armory, he only did the cover. Let's see here. Yeah, he did the cover. This is a collection. Cover pencils on the painting there for Shadow Masters. Here's an interesting one. Jim Lee, Punisher magazine, right? 1990. It's a painting. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the watercolor stuff he did, 15 years later, 20 years later. It's a wraparound cover he did. Oh no, it was a poster. So it's a poster painting. Some Jim Lee fine art. Obviously, before the all the cross hatching kicked in. Jim Lee inking himself as well. A lot of the magic came into the picture when Scott Williams came into the picture full time. So this was a pretty cool cover. There was a few months there where Conan had covers by Jim Lee and McFarlane. McFarlane was even inked by Scott Williams on that one. You got your Transformers covers here. If you guys didn't know, Transformers Marvel Comics issue 53 right here, and then issue 67 right here. This piece in black and white screams Michael Golden. I did buy this for the cover. He inked Ron Lim, so it basically just became a Jim Lee piece. Let's be real. I got a pin-up from Wolverine issue 50, which is the die-cut cover by Silvestri. I saw Jim bought this original artwork. He used Pigma markers, and they were all like turning light brown. So he purchased this piece back and then re-inked the whole thing. So this piece is a brand new piece now with like updated. I feel like when you can't just stick to what it was. So he kind of updated it a bit. It's pretty close to what this is, but I think you should resell it to Marvel. But yeah, the original piece was just sad. It was just in a sad state. Very similar to Captain America. Probably my second favorite Uncanny X-Men cover by Jim. My first one is 275. A trifold. This is one of my favorite interior page single issues by Jim. Here it is, Extinction Agenda. Yeah, I feel like Jim carried that entire event on his shoulders. Every other artist on the other books, it was painful to look at. Jim's 3 issues on that were awesome. This is my favorite Jim Lee cover probably ever. Yeah, I love it. This one was pretty sick. I know this one here is Jim. It feels like a Andy Kubert to me for some reason. But yeah, let's see here. We got a Marvel poster, X-Men poster with Jim Lee pencils, inks by Art Taber. I don't remember ever seeing this for sale. Ever. Who was selling that? All right. Got your X-Men books. This video is way too long. This was a pretty cool try. It was like a sheet poster. You had to, I think it was like 1, 2, 3 or 4 sheets. And they were all like 24 by 36, and you had to actually seam them up on your wall together. Yeah, when I was living with Dan Fraga, he had it in our art studio above my desk, where my desk was at, and it went across the whole thing. Kind of hard to look at because it's such a huge image, you know? But really awesome colors. The artwork was cool. Yeah, this is a later piece. I think it was a Wizard cover. Dynamic Forces, 97 poster art. I feel like it was a cover to a magazine too, though. All right, get some posters here. Y'all know what these are. These are all collected in the X-Men reprints. Is this the piece Danny had on his wall? So I think that this was actually inked by Danny. It says pinup art, but I think this was for Marvel Comic Presents, and I'm almost positive this is Danny Mickey's inks, the one I was talking about earlier. Anyways, I'm gonna ask Danny about that because, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that just never happened for a lot of books. Here's one you don't see every day. The American Lost in America. Anyone ever seen this in the wild? Ever? This one was pretty popular. I hated the inks. I believe Bob Layton inked it. I like some of Bob Layton's work. Bad choice, man. Bad choice. That should have been a Scott Williams piece. A bunch of the Wildcat issues here. Phenomenal inks here by Richard Bennett. This was trading cards, a poster. This was actually, I think, a promo for the cartoon, I believe. Yeah, several covers there by Rich Bennett and Jim. Jim Lee pencils, Rich Bennett finishes / inks. Check this out. Action Zone #1. Another one you don't see in the wild very often. You got your turtles. Pretty much the whole Action Zone cartoon. Wildcats was part of it, and they had this one shot. I think this comic came with the action figures of the turtles. When they would have be blister packed, I think the comic was inside the blister pack. They had a weird crossover series where Jim redesigned the turtles, and they were dressed like the Wildcat characters. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I don't remember ever seeing that on a shelf at a shop. Yeah, I got some pinups here. Obviously, Deathblow Stormwatch cover. This one still holds up to me. Super iconic. I remember the smell of the comic shop when this book came out. Like, that's how much it just it etched itself into my brain, my psyche when that book was released. I have very, very vivid visual memory of all that. All right, more Deathblow stuff. Pretty cool minimalist cover there. Jim Lee drawing Ash. Oh, please, God. That's why it doesn't... Okay. Yeah, I think Paul Miotti inked this. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, Phantom Force. You got Jim Lee inking Kirby there. Pretty dope. More covers, more covers. Oh, you know what? I know what this is. Joyce Chen, artist of Winona Earp, inked by Jim Lee. So this is Jim Lee Inks. This was an interesting one here. I did buy this cover because I actually like the illustration. Jim Lee doing a watercolor painting and then inking it with very, very sharp and hard edge dead lines and fat outlines. It was kind of an interesting approach. This is his variant to DEFCON 4. This series should have been bigger than it was, to be honest. Got some of the stuff from these things here. I used to have this poster back in the day. Grifter there, Fantastic Four pieces. This was a pinup in... Okay, so this was in the source book. And I think that this was actually a pull-out poster as well. I think it was a fully glossed poster you could pull out at the Saddle Stitch, if I remember right. Or they reused it for a Saddle Stitch poster in something. But definitely saw it as a pullout. Yeah, his profit cover there, which was it was a trading card, and then it was blown up into cover. Wasn't aware of this. Okay, so cover pencils to Preacher 50. Interesting. Got some. He did some of the PSM magazine cover stuff. He also got the source book stuff for Resident Evil here. Some of the cover art. His Divine Right covers. Some of his Ennis stuff. He got some Thundercats. Voyager, EverQuest, Fight for Tomorrow. It's kind of that was like the Bruce Lee sort of knockoff. Yeah, so these were promotional posters to try to help amp up some of DC stuff. He didn't really have the grasp that he has today on these characters back then. Very like, let's feel like golden age, and it just didn't, I don't know. It's like his stuff is so fashion forward, it didn't really fit. A ton of covers, so many covers here. Green Lantern, all of his Hush stuff, some Batman Black and White. I'm gonna start skipping stuff here. This video is way too long. All right, poster, more stuff. Wizard poster, Wizard magazine cover, the unused cover to. I think that this was supposed to be the cover to 12. This would have been a wraparound, which means, let's see here, because it would have folded in. So this would have been the cover here with the logo here. And then when you flip it open, you get to see the full Sabretooth fighting Wolvie there. It's a pretty awesome piece, actually, to be honest. Just really surprised it just never got used. Not every morsel gets its attention. All right, you got yeah, that was his pinup in that Heroes, the 9/11 book, and then some parting shots. You get to see age 13 Jim Lee right here. I drew better than Jim at 13. I'm just going to point it out because I broke into comics at 16. Here's Jim at 21. I was already working in comics for 5 years. Jimothy. Jim at 39, and yeah, enters his final form as a pro. All right, so there it is, guys. Jim Lee Millennium Edition. Again, highlight of this right here. I spent way too much time looking at this thing. The highlight would be the black and white stuff from that I can't find. The Punisher stuff. So anyways, yeah. Yeah, those would be the weren't they up here in the front? Am I crazy? I must be crazy. I think I'm crazy. All right. So anyways, this is embarrassing. I don't even see these pages here. Are they past the DC stuff? Why would they be past the DC stuff? Let's see here. I gotta find this now. Now I gotta find it. Here they are. Okay, they're further than I thought. So anyways, yeah. Uh, this is the bread and butter. This is what you want. It doesn't have the whole thing, but it's got a lot more. And by the way, not everything printed in here is on the internet. At least not yet. So you guys get those scanners handy, okay? It's not all. It's not all on the internet. So, all right, guys, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, ring the dings, bing the bells, whatever. All right, peace out.